Today, we'll be doing a ride and drive and historic hike of the mines of Palos Verdes with 4 stops. Join me, won't you, as we start this 10-mile tour on PCZ TV. PCZ TV. But first, ponder this. The average value of an acre of land in Palos Verdes in 2025 is around $4.75 million. So can you imagine a world where mining or a landfill dump is the preferred land use over 300 acres here in Palos Verdes? That's about $1.5 billion of land that were mined or used as a dump. Put that in perspective, that's about the gross domestic product of Samoa. So why? Well, it's easy to forget when you see the current development of the hill, but the early days of Palos Verdes were of sparse development. It was viewed as the boondocks. Now combine this with the unique geology of the hill compared to the flatlands, and mining starts to make a lot of sense.
And now for something completely different.
All right, I teased the geology, so let's talk about it some more. Palos Verdes was caused by a significant uplift, and the geology shows a lot of twisted layers. There are 3 distinct formations here: Altamira Shale, Malaga Mudstone, and Valmonte Diatomite. I can't say that. Okay. Of these 3, we'll talk about diatomite. Of course, the hardest one to say. But what the heck is it? Well, diatomite is a soft, siliceous, sedimentary rock formed from the fossilized remains of microscopic algae called diatoms. It is primarily composed of silica and is valued for its high porosity, low density, and chemical inertness. What this all means is when crushed, dried, and milled into a fine powder, it becomes diatomaceous earth, which is what exactly? Well, it can be used for food for human animal consumption, or pools when treated with high heat, or pest control, or absorbent. And am I the only one who didn't know what this stuff was used for? Well, so given that, we'll start with mine number 1.
Mine.
Which mined this. And it started in the early 1900s. The Dickelite Company began mining diatomaceous earth with an open pit mine off Hawthorne Boulevard. Now, remember, back then, Hawthorne essentially ended at the mine, if you will. And in 1944, the mine was sold to the Great Lakes Carbon Company, and in July of 1953, they purchased an additional 7,000 acres of undeveloped land with the idea of mining it. But after trying a few times, they gave it up and just planned development of the property. Meanwhile, back at the mine, by 1956, production of the mine declined, and the site was sold to the County of Los Angeles. The city of LA, looking at this amazing real estate, converted the site into a sanitary landfill. Because of course they would. The landfill went from 1957, but was eventually closed in 1980. So after the landfill closed, the parcels were split up into 3 different uses: a park, a botanical garden, and an open space. So we're going to start today our hiking tour of mining site number 1. Now, get ready. This will be a walk and drive day. So let's start with a hearty breakfast at either Truxton's or the Misto Cafe. Trust me, you'll need the calories. And ironically, you'll be standing and eating on some of the land of the strip mine. And we'll have a great view of the open pit mine across the street. You'll see the cliffside left from the strip mining. Now, mind you, this is private property, so no need to enter, but we'll just peek over the edge here. Okay, now hop in the car and drive up to Ernie Howitt Park. Now, as you go, take note of the industrial facility on the left. It's hidden behind all these hedges here. But this facility site collects methane from the old landfill and converts it into energy. And, in an ironic twist of fate, city attempts to upgrade to a more efficient and environmentally friendly facility have been stopped by environmentalists. Go figure. Anyway, up to Ernie's Park. The park was fully completed in 1982. This 35-acre park provides facilities for many sporting and leisure activities, including handball courts, athletic fields, basketball courts, volleyball, picnic tables, playground equipment. They also have a 3/4 mile running track and their hiking tracks. Now, to get to the top of the mine that we saw from below, head over to the park's facility area, and from there, there's a trail that heads up. Now, there are a total of 1.5 miles of trails here, but since I'm scared of heights, I didn't go to the edge of the top to look down, so you'll just have to take my word for it. It's a delightful park. You can see folks with horses, kids playing baseball, folks playing tennis. Great place for a picnic, as I said. Now, moving on. The other conversion of the landfill was the South Coast Botanical Garden. So we'll get back in the car and head over there. In 1960, the County Board of Supervisors officially designated landfill number 1 as the South Coast Botanical Garden. And in 1961, the first large-scale planting occurred with over 40,000 donated plants. Now, besides a wide array of flora and fauna, they boast a plethora of hiking trails through the 87 acres, that's a lot of acres, of shrubbery.
We want a shrubbery!
We went there for Dogtoberfest. What an amazing coincidence. But they do feature events all year long, and it's worth the time to look at their monthly events on their website. Now, strangely, between these two locations exists an expanse of, well, nothing. This is occasionally used as parking overflow for the horse show, but otherwise, nada. All right. Moving on to the next mine, well, technically a quarry, I guess, is the Chandler. No, not that Chandler. We're talking the Lyndon H. Chandler Preserve. Now, the Chandlers and Palos Verdes go way back. Chandler's Palos Verdes sand and gravel facility first opened in the early 1900s. And after operating for over 80 years, the company successfully closed and reclaimed the site in 2015. Currently, the land was redeveloped into a new golf course and the Rolling Hills Country Club and 114 single-family homes. Of course, these are all behind gates. And as Rolling Hills excludes the great unwashed masses, you can't visit them or the country club.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh?
But the Chandler Preserve was created in 1993 and is open to the public. Hiking it today, well, it is a bit hidden, so head towards the Dapple Gray School. Soon as you turn on the driveway, make an immediate left turn, and you'll travel down a 1-lane road to the Little League fields below. The trailhead is sort of nestled behind all of these containers in the back. But it's a 27-acre site and brings you above the old Chandler gravel pit. It's amazingly secluded for being in the middle of PV, but you get views of the golf course and the multi-million-dollar houses that you couldn't see otherwise. And Zillow shows us that the value of these homes are as low as $3 million and as high as $9 million. Now, there is another entrance to the park off Buckskin Lane, but I don't know if street parking is allowed. Knowing the area, probably not.
Nothing for you!
And you may see some local residents like this peacock. And hopefully, none of these others. Now it's back to the car and off to the other side of the peninsula. The Livingston Quarry can be viewed by turning on Forrestal Drive, which is across the street from Trump National Golf Club, off Palos Verdes Drive South. drive up to and park at the Ladera Linda Community Center. Now, once you get out, you can hike up to the old Livingston Quarry. This area is part of the Forestal Preserve area, which was purchased as a nature preserve in 1996. You'll want to take the Quarry Trail. Note that these trails aren't as well maintained as the other hikes today, so bring your hiking shoes. Now, the quarry itself operated from 45 to 1956 until the 1956 landslide. They mined such materials as barite, quartz, dolomite, gypsum, basalt, as well as rocks used in the Long Beach breakwater. The Livingston Quarry was at least 100 yards wide and a quarter-mile long. Wow. And it is impressive. Now, you should definitely do the big loop after the quarry, as there are some awesome views of the peninsula. And you'll exit via Fossil Trail. But be advised, the only fossil I saw on that trail was me. Anyway, congratulations. You made it, hopefully. Some great hiking with history in Palos Verdes. Didn't know there were so many mines there. Now, if you've been watching this far, I thank you. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I have other videos on the history of Palos Verdes. Thanks again. Bye!